Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about some Toronto Maple Leafs news, and we're also going to be looking at potential third-line centers that this team could look to acquire maybe soon, maybe a little bit later in the season, closer to the trade deadline. But also, let me know down in the comment section if you notice a difference in the audio in this video. I added an equalizer to my microphone to make my voice sound a little bit warmer and a little bit clearer. Unfortunately, if you found my voice annoying from the very start, I can't do anything about that. There's no equalizer to help with that. But because I haven't made a video for a while here on the channel, let's go over the games that have happened since then. There was a 5-3 win over the Montreal Canadiens, and the Toronto Maple Leafs really did deserve to win this game. They controlled the majority of the scoring chances, they controlled the majority of the expected goals, and they got some key performances from their bottom six guys like Travis Boyd, Pierre Engvall, Ilya Mikheyev, and even Alexander Kerfoot made key contributions in this game when he was moved up to the Tavares and Nylander line. And I made the suggestion that Kerfoot be reunited with Tavares and Nylander before this game, so it's nice to know that Sheldon Keefe, Kyle Dubas, and I are kind of on the same wavelength with a couple of things. And I suggested reuniting that trio in a bid to kind of get those guys going at 5-on-5 because the Maple Leafs need more from those guys, and they got it in the last couple of games, which we will touch on in a little bit, but that trio spent the majority of their season last year together, so reuniting them only makes sense. But if you take a look at what the lines would look like when everyone is healthy with Kerfoot in the top six, you don't really have a third line center to replace him at the moment, which is why we're going to discuss options a little bit later on. And when asked if you would consider moving Kerfoot into the top six on a permanent basis, Sheldon Keefe said no. But I think that answer was rooted in the fact that they really don't have another option there at third line center, so Kerfoot is best suited on this team right now as their third line center. But if they had another option, like I said, we're going to discuss it a little bit later on, he might consider it. And I think that it would be good to get that line going at 5-on-5. And it also helps out Kerfoot because playing center on that third line with Ilya Mikheyev and Zach Hyman, there's not really a lot of offensive options there. Yes, Zach Hyman will go to the net and he'll bang in a couple of goals, but there's not really a shooting option to take advantage of the playmaking abilities that Kerfoot has. And God bless Ilya Mikheyev. No one's ever going to accuse that guy of not trying hard enough, but when he is absolutely just blazing up the ice as fast as he possibly can, his hands don't keep up with his feet, and he's looking down a little bit. And I think if he just slowed down a little bit, because he's fast. If he just takes 10% off of that, he can take his time with the puck a little bit more, and I think he would be a better offensive player. The 3-0 shutout loss to the Calgary Flames again. The Toronto Maple Leafs controlled the majority of the scoring chances at 5-on-5. They controlled the majority of the expected goals in this game, but Dave Rittich was just too good. And this was also a very, very depleted Maple Leafs team. Jake Muzzin didn't play in this game. Joe Thornton didn't play in this game. Zach Hyman didn't play in this game. Michael Hutchison was in net for this one. Frustrating loss because the Maple Leafs did play well in this game despite the injuries, but sometimes you just get goalied. Now, the 2-1 overtime win against the Flames the very next game, I thought that the Maple Leafs deserved this one. David Rittich again standing on his head, and I'm glad that we won't have to see him and the Flames for a little while, and hopefully the next time that we do, we either see Jacob Markstrom or David Rittich just returns down from whatever planet he was on. But again, they controlled the majority of the scoring chances at 5-on-5, the majority of the expected goals in all situations, and they got performances from guys like William Nylander. Even Alexander Barabanov looked really good in this game, playing a little bit more ice time, but also the big boys really did show up in this one. And credit where credit is due, man. I mean, Freddie went down, Jack Campbell went down, and it's just like, I said at the beginning of the season that I did not want to see Michael Hutchison play a game this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he's been absolutely excellent. And I mean, to be fair to him, I've showed this sample before, but starting from the beginning of last season to when Mike Babcock got fired, Michael Hutchison played in 6 games. Most of those were on the second half of back-to-back nights where he was absolutely fed to the Wolves. High danger shots against per 60 in that stretch from the beginning of last year and up until Mike Babcock was fired. There was no goalie in the NHL that faced a higher volume of high danger shots against. And I mean, in the 3 games that he's played so far at even strength, he's been a very, very average goalie, and the Maple Leafs have played well enough in front of him that that's all that they've needed. I said at the beginning of this year that having 3 goalies was very, very important. We talked about the value of maybe holding on to Aaron Dell and stashing him on the active roster, but then we didn't know how the cap was going to work out with having 3 goalies under it. Michael Hutchison has really, really stepped up, and he's got the sweet new mask. Hold on. You got the really cool 1990s Felix Potvin vibe going on, and I know a lot of you have these from the 90s, the McDonald's little goalie masks here. Looks exactly like this, and if he wants to endear himself to fans, yeah, going after Felix the Cat Potvin is definitely a way to do it. But also playing well on the ice is another way to do it, and he's been doing that. But it looks like tonight against the Edmonton Oilers, which is going to be a huge test for the Toronto Maple Leafs because the Oilers are absolutely red hot right now. I think they're winners of like 11 of their last 13 games or whatever like that. But I think that Jack Campbell is going to be back from injury and playing in tonight's game. But Auston Matthews is currently day-to-day with the wrist injury. Not sure if it's the same one that buggered up around the All-Star break last year. The reason why he didn't play in that game. Not sure if it's the same wrist or not. But, man, this guy's got a real shot at 50 goals in 50 games this year. And if injuries are going to take that away from us, that'd be a huge... But man, I said it so many times in the offseason that you guys must have been so annoyed with me, but if we got a healthier, better Morgan Rielly, closer to the version that we saw in the 18-19 season when he led all defensemen in terms of even strength points that year, never mind the magic that he worked on the power play. We haven't quite seen that this year from him, but in terms of his even strength 5-on-5 play, absolutely amazing offensively. Now, every once in a while, he still goes, what's defense? And you're screaming at your TV because he just makes a bonehead play defensively. But the good so outweighs the bad with Morgan Rielly because he's just one of the best offensive defensemen in the entire NHL when he's on his game. The lines and pairings from dailyfaceoff.com, like we said, Auston Matthews a game time decision. I don't see Joe Thornton here. Not 100% sure if Zach Hyman's going to draw in or not. Jake Muzzin not playing. Frederik Andersen also not playing in this game. This is a depleted Maple Leafs lineup going up against the red-hot Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. But that is not an excuse if they lose this game. This roster still has a ton of talent on it, including John Tavares, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander. Gonna need one of you guys to step up tonight and steal a couple points for us. Matthews in or out, more than likely not going to be around 100%. Really need those guys to step up, and there's no reason why they can't. And something else that a lot of people were really following along with Jake Muzzin out of the lineup, Travis Dermott was asked to play a little bit of an elevated role, and in the first game against the Calgary Flames, 11 minutes and 48 seconds, just not enough ice time from him there to really give us a proper showing. But in the last game against the Flames, where the Leafs won in overtime 2-1 on the 2 Nylander goals there, 22 minutes and 14 seconds from Travis Dermott, and he was absolutely excellent, controlling 81.4% of the expected goals when he was on the ice. And you know what? At the beginning of this video, I said that I was going to be talking about some third-line center options, but the video is already quite long enough, and I've kind of been a little bit stretched for content lately just because I've been really busy. Can show you guys some cool pictures at the end of this video if you care to know what I was up to over the last little while. So look out for a video tomorrow, Sunday, talking about the third line center options because I really want to take my time with it and go over as many possible options as we can. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Make sure to like the video if you did like it and subscribe for more because more is always on the way. And guys, remember, first place. And if you're still stressing, oh, they need to trade Nylander, they need to do this, they need to do that. First place. Just take some time to appreciate that. Take some time to appreciate the season that Auston Matthews is having. Take some time to appreciate your first place Toronto Maple Leafs in the league, not just the Canadian division, in the league.